Sounds great. Thanks so much. Well, like you said, my name is Juliana Scapitici. I'm a senior education specialist for educational technology for the Center for Faculty and Professional Development within the Geisinger College of Health Sciences. So I'll be talking a little bit about how we enhance faculty development and continuing education with microlearning. So a few objectives here. By the end of this, I hope you'll be able to identify some benefits of microlearning for faculty development and to evaluate some EdTech tools and strategies to enhance engagement and accessibility. So just a quick overview here. Geisinger is an integrated regional health system with service areas that span central and northeastern Pennsylvania. If there are any fans of The Office out there, I am coming to you live from Scranton, so I will write in here. Part of the Geisinger system is the Geisinger College of Health Sciences. Under the GCHS umbrella are the health sciences schools, which include the School of Medicine, School of Graduate Education, and School of Nursing, as well as the Clinical Education and Research Institutes. The Geisinger College of Health Sciences expands well beyond the Geisinger service area with our affiliate institutions at Guthrie and AtlantiCare. And as you could see on this map here, our over 2,300 faculty members are spread far throughout Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey, and they represent a wide range of health professions. So also under that umbrella is my office, the Center for Faculty and Professional Development, where I support each of the teams that you see on the screen here. So for this, I'll mostly be focusing on the Office of Faculty Development and how we use microlearning. So currently we have a lot of offerings available to faculty. Some of our synchronous offerings include our regularly scheduled series, which are monthly sessions of Foundations in Medical Education, Foundations in Health System Science, and our bi-monthly sessions of Medical Education Grand Rounds. These are hour-long synchronous virtual offerings that are held via Teams. These sessions are then recorded and posted for asynchronous viewing on our YouTube channel, as well as within our LMS for continuing education credit as an enduring material activity. These are designed to give faculty and education staff an introduction or foundation in various topics that are pertinent to medical education and health system science. Our signature courses are more comprehensive and focus on developing proficiency across a wider array of competencies. These include our medical education certificate course, our health system science leadership course, both of which are longitudinal in nature and have a project component where participants apply the knowledge and skills to their current practice. We also offer several conferences and workshops, including our annual Mission to Teach conference, our Educational Scholarship Symposium, Coaching for Competency workshop, among others. Each of these are full-day, in-person offerings, although we do offer some virtual and hybrid workshops from time to time. So the problem with all of these, no matter if they are offered virtually or in person, is that they require time. So time to travel, time to take in the actual workshop or courses, and it often means time away from patients. So, in addition to synchronous, we also have some asynchronous offerings. We have a monthly publication that comes out on the first Friday using Microsoft Sway that's emailed directly to our entire faculty listserv and then archived on SharePoint. We have enduring materials, like I referenced earlier, which are recordings of our RSSs that can be completed in our LMS for continuing education credits or just viewed on YouTube. And then we also create supplementals like infographics and video tutorials that are organized on our faculty development SharePoint page as well. But there are still limitations to these resources. So they could be lengthy. The enduring materials are still about an hour long without any interactive elements. We have some IT barriers. So our faculty, learners, and staff at affiliate institutions often run into issues using their Geisinger credentials and cannot access our internal resources on our SharePoint pages. They're passive. Like I said with the enduring materials, there are no interactive elements to engage our learners. There's no opt-in or opt-out option. The faculty first publication is sent to all faculty, whether they want it or not. We often receive emails asking for them to be taken off of the list, and that's not something we can do for accreditation purposes. These also exist outside of a typical workflow. The enduring materials and supplementals are located on SharePoint, which requires an extra step or an extra click to be found, instead of being in a location that the learners are already working in. And finally, there's limited and unreliable analytics. We could see the number of viewers and the average read time of this way, as well as the number of views on YouTube or in the LMS, but we track more analytics, and these really don't provide the snapshot we're looking for. So what's the solution? That's when Microlearning Monday was born. So every Monday morning, faculty, staff, and learners who choose to subscribe receive a module directly in their inbox. We primarily use 7 Taps for this initiative. Once in a while, we'll send an infographic, but I think 7 Taps is the fan favorite. So this is what it looks like. Participants can subscribe for free with any email. It doesn't have to be their institutional email. And we use the platform Substack, which is an email publishing platform with easy opt-in and opt-out subscription, and it's also accessible via a mobile app. Substack is very user-friendly. Simply, I copy the same paragraph from the week before. When I'm creating these, I change the title and the topic. I add an image of the module from 7 Taps along with the URL. And then with a click, they're taken directly to the module. So this is one of our most recent modules that went out. I've gotten a bit formulaic with the format of the modules at this point. Analytics are important to us, and in order to receive those analytics, the learner has to make it all the way to the end of the module. So a few months ago, I started adding this card right at the beginning that tells exactly how many cards are in the module, asking them to rate the course at the end. So they move through those 14 cards. And we ask for feedback at the end. So one way we use this card is for our faculty satisfaction score. Out of the 51 modules that use this feedback card, 40 of them had 100% positive perception, which was thumbs up. And then here are the 11 modules that didn't have 100%, but they still had overwhelmingly positive satisfaction scores. So overall, since this initiative started in November of 2024, our satisfaction score is 98.3%, which we're happy to see. Sorry for the darkness. I have these shades that go down automatically. I have no control over. Anyway, back to this. Another way we use the analytics from the modules is to track the number of faculty development hours that we've provided to learners at no cost to them. So currently we have 237 subscribers in Substack, and we're still trying to do our part and spread the word and increase those numbers. As you can see by the blue line here, we are steadily growing. Since this initiative started, we've seen a total of 107.5 faculty development hours just from these 7 Taps modules. So I know this doesn't seem like a lot, but remember, this is microlearning, so it's designed to be consumed in 3 to 5 minutes at a time. So at 3 minutes a piece, which is our average completion time, that's over 2,100 doses of faculty development, which is actually huge. But the modules we send out are not one and done. We carefully catalog and archive each microlearning module on our Microlearning Monday SharePoint page that lives on the greater faculty development site. Substack also has an archive of all posts that go way back to the beginning when we started. And we also organize all of the resources by educational competency on our Padlet board. So this is super helpful for our faculty and staff who are part of the affiliate organizations that can't access SharePoint. Neither Padlet nor 7Taps require a login, so anyone with a link is able to access the archive. Looking ahead, we definitely plan to improve our marketing here. We want to continue to share this initiative and grow our subscribers within the organization. We want to continue to cross-post content. So we want to make these modules readily available when topics are mentioned or referenced. For example, our medical education certificate course has multiple sessions about educational theory. So when I added the other course materials to the course page in our LMS, I added the microlearning modules that cover the same topics just to reinforce the concepts that were covered in those long lectures. As we create more content every single week, we can continue to cross-post the content in different ways. And then finally, since we built various modules of certain competencies, such as educational theory, which we have 26 modules of, we hope to create enduring materials in our LMS using the SCORM packages from 7Taps. So really the idea is to take 10 or 12 of those modules, use the SCORM packages, put them in the LMS, and then offer some CME credits as completing them as a whole course. That is the goal for the future, looking ahead, but thank you for your time. Please feel free to connect. That's my LinkedIn right there, or send me an email, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
So I absolutely, first of all, can we get a round of emojis for Juliana? That was fantastic. So first of all, not only am I going to say I love the fact you pick Substack, because I have a Substack and I absolutely love Substack. It's fantastic, but I love the way that you used like an outside platform like that. Because for those of you who don't know Substack, it's a publication tool that does, like you said, it allows you to push emails, it allows people to opt in, it does all that stuff in a way that a lot of times you don't have this kind of tech accessible to you in-house type of thing. I'm curious with that one, because a long time ago, back when Twitter wasn't like a dumpster fire, we actually did something with Twitter for onboarding, where we actually had a Twitter account that we used to kind of tweet as people were going through the onboarding process. So this kind of like using consumer grade tech to actually drive work stuff. Did you run into any issues with like IT or anybody going, wait, but that's not owned by like, did you get any pushback on that one?
I wasn't here for the initial setup of Substack.
Okay.
We do sometimes run into issues with the firewall. So we have directions for the initial subscribers how to add it as a safe sender. So it will come to their
Okay.
inbox, so it's not filtered out.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering, because I remember the first time I sat down with our CIO and he's like, wait, you have a Twitter that you're using for our thing? And I was like, yes, but like the way we do it, and then we explained it. So, but I think that's a great way to incorporate all of that stuff. I'm looking to see if there were some other questions that came up. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like the way you did all that. And then is there so somebody asked this for the analytics and stuff, since they're subscribing like on a personal thing, then when they're clicking in, how are you managing your analytics on that? Because you've got Substack analytics and you've got the microlearning analytics. How's all that coming together?
So we're not really looking at the individual completions, whether a certain person
Okay.
completed it or not. We're really just
Because
looking
this
at
isn't
the overall.
mandatory like compliance type anything. This is just more like, hey, this is for you to as part of your ongoing learning.
Exactly, just a benefit to them. So on Substack, we do look at the number of opens. We could see when it's forwarded out to a bunch of people. We could see who our
Okay.
most engaged subscribers are. And then on the
Okay.
7 Tap side, we really are looking for that completion time and how
So
many
I was
opens,
just
how many completions.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I mean, again, I can talk about it because I do so much on Substack, and you do get those. You do get to see like who are your super users, like who are your 5-star folks. So do you ever do anything like? Sometimes it freaks people out when they're like, "Wait, you can see what I'm doing," type of thing. But do you ever like engage with them and be like, "Hey," like, or even using them behind the scenes to go, "These should be our like change champions" type stuff?
We have had conversations with our teams
Okay.
saying like, oh, these people are most engaged. Maybe we should reach out to them about different things moving forward, different ideas.
Yeah.
But it's not something we've announced to the broader
Okay.
audience.
Well, like I said, sometimes people get a little freaked out when they're like, wait, you mean when I get an email, like you can see how many times I open it? That
Right.
kind of trips me out. You're like, well, yeah. Okay. But I love that because, again, it gives you an opportunity to see who is the most engaged. Just out of curiosity, since you are on Substack, because this is one of the things we dealt with when we had this Twitter onboarding group. Do you ever get anybody who's not at work have you ever had anybody that you're like, why are you why are you part of our Substack?
Yeah, so last time we presented on this, we had a few people from that conference follow us, which was great. And then
Yeah.
recently I've had a lot of random people like the post, which is great. We're getting that information out
Yeah,
there.
I
I
mean,
hope you
hey,
could,
growth is growth.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you can keep people informed, and it seems like the topics are relevant. It's not just, like, I mean, you could potentially benefit from the industry stuff that you're putting out anyway. It's not you're not putting out proprietary corporate IP or anything like that in these,
correct. Right.
right?
Broad
Okay.
health
Yeah.
professions
Yeah.
education information. So
Okay.
theory,
All right. Well,
AI,
so there you
yeah.
go. We've got some health professionals here who would benefit from the content. You can reference it there. You might get some more subscribers. You can climb that. I love that. I love the creativity with that. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones. Have you run into any challenges? I don't see any other specific questions, but have there been any lessons learned you've run into along the way? It sounds like one was you did have some with like the email getting filtered. So you have to have instructions for like, hey, if you're not getting these, like this is how to do it. Have there been any other like little hiccups that you've had to iron out along the way?
Really just encouraging learners to complete the course because we want to know
Okay.
the completion time. So really just figuring out a way to encourage that and It
Okay.
seemed to work adding in that card at the beginning, but we still see some drop off. But
Okay.
something to
Okay.
keep an eye on for us.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure. I mean, you always have that. It's amazing how even a single click, an additional click, can cause where you're like, really, like it was too much for you to click the one button, type of a thing. And I assume, I saw you have feedback in there, so you're getting feedback from folks as well along the way on what the value they're finding. How do you pick the topics out of curiosity? Like, is it driven by what's a priority for the organization? Are you pulling them out of a hat? Do you have a competition? Like, what does that look like?
It all comes from that faculty first publication that we archive
Okay.
on our SharePoint. So we take out different sections. Sometimes it's theory, sometimes it's basics, sometimes it's based on an article. And then recently we've been throwing in AI because that's, of course, a hot topic. So we go
Yeah.
back in the archive and then just try to package it in a different way to get that information back out there.
Okay. Okay. So there's kind of a standard place you're pulling from, but then you and the team are kind of choosing, hey, which ones do we think are the most relevant, for this, and then just kind of it's an ever flow type cycle.
Yep. And then
Okay.
sometimes it matches what's happening for us. We did a feedback workshop in January. So that the week before and the week after, the modules were about feedback. So we try
Okay.
to look at
Okay.
that too and make sure it all flows.
Okay. Got it. Got it. One question somebody asked, more of a technical question, and then we can kind of wrap up here is, so with the managing the email piece. So for those who don't know, Substack is like its own platform people can go to. They just opt in type of a thing. Is that how you're directing everybody to do it? Is you're directing them there and then they opt in on their own? Do you ever get people that go, hey, can you add my email address? And then you're manually doing any of that? Or how are you doing that?
We typically just push it out. We give them different
Okay.
options. Here's the link, how you can subscribe. We send it out in the newsletter every once in a while, but
Okay.
they do it on their
Okay.
own.
Okay. All right. Do you ever get this is a tactical question, and we'll go, do you ever get the like every time you push, you see the little dip and you're like, somebody unsubscribed?
Rarely, rarely. We've
Okay.
been going up,
Okay.
up, up. So we're thrilled about
Well,
that.
I was gonna say, I mean, you've got a pretty specific. I've got like 20,000 subscribers that read mine. So like I always get the like you hit send and you're like, a couple people
Oh,
dropped. But I guess you've got a pretty specific, like, we're shooting at. If you're signing up for your subscriber list, then it's probably a pretty targeted group. I love that. And then the one question that just came in, just to reinforce this, because again, be careful with this. You're not sharing any proprietary company information that you're going to get in trouble by your legal or compliance counsel for putting. This is public information that the company would be happy with being out there, type of a thing.
that's correct.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So John, I saw your question there. And yes, for anybody watching, do not take your company's private IP and go put it on a public social domain. That is a very quick way to get a 30-minute meeting with HR and possibly be looking for new employment.